Now, imagine for a second. You've heard of that old philosophical question. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? It's a fun little brain teaser, but what if we took that idea and applied it to everything? What if physical objects, your phone, your chair, the floor beneath your feet, only existed when you were directly looking at them? The moment you turn your back, they don't just become silent, they cease to exist. They dissolve into a fuzzy soup of pure probability. Sound crazy? Well, get ready, because the universe at its smallest, weirdest level kind of already works like this. Act 1. Schrödinger's living room. To understand the nightmare we're about to unleash, we need to talk about a cat. A very famous, very confused cat, Schrödinger's cat. This was a thought experiment by physicist Erwin Schrödinger to show how weird quantum mechanics is. The setup is simple. You put a cat in a box with a vial of poison that has a 50-50 chance of breaking. Until you open the box and observe the cat is not dead or alive. It exists in a bizarre state of being both dead and alive at the same time. It's a superposition of all possible outcomes. The act of looking, the observation, is what forces the universe to make a choice, dead or alive. Now, what if that wasn't just for cats and boxes? What if that was the rule for everything? The first few minutes would be pure chaos and slapstick comedy. You're in your living room. You turn your back on the sofa to grab a drink from the fridge. When you turn back around, the sofa is gone. In its place is a shimmering, glitching cloud of maybe. You have to stare at the cloud, concentrating, until the universe is forced to choose and the sofa pops back into existence, maybe in a slightly different position. You try to sit down, but you look away at the TV for a second, the chair beneath you vanishes. You fall on the floor. You try to pick up your remote, but you blink and it's no longer in your hand. Life becomes a living nightmare of object permanence anxiety. You have to stare at your coffee cup until you finish drinking it. You can never turn your back on a closing door, and don't even think about trying to find your keys. But the real gut-wrenching horror begins when you start to think about the things you can't see. You're driving your car. The car exists because you're in it. The road ahead of you exists because you're looking at it. But what about the road behind you? What about the bridge supports holding you up over that canyon? The moment you drive past them, they dissolve into pure probability. Every bridge you cross is a leap of faith that the universe will decide to render the pillars back into existence just as you pass over them. And then you realize the most terrifying implication of all.
Act 2. The unseen apocalypse. You think you're safe at home. You're looking at the walls of your room, so they exist. You're looking at the floor, so it exists. Solid. Safe. But what about the foundation of your house? You can't see it. No one is looking at it, so it doesn't exist. Your entire house is floating on a cloud of maybe. And one day, the universe rolls the dice, and the foundation just doesn't render back in. Your house collapses into a sinkhole of non-existence. The world outside becomes a landscape of pure horror. Cities are flickering in and out of existence as people look away. Skyscrapers, unobserved from certain angles, partially vanish, causing them to topple over. But the true apocalypse isn't the collapsing buildings. It's the things that are supposed to be there, but aren't. You're flying in an airplane. You trust that the pilot is looking at the controls. You trust that the wings are being observed by the passengers. But who is looking at the jet fuel in the tanks? Who is looking at the bolts holding the engine together? And then the cosmic horror kicks in. Who is looking at the core of the Earth? Without observation, the molten iron core that generates our planet's magnetic field dissolves into a quantum soup. The magnetic field vanishes, and Earth is hit by a brutal, unfiltered wave of solar radiation. Who is looking at the sun? We only ever see its surface, but the fusion reactor in its core, the delicate balance of pressure and gravity that keeps it from exploding, it's unobserved. It ceases to be a stable star. It becomes a superposition of stable star and supernova. And the odds are not in our favor. The moment the universe is forced to choose, boom. But you don't even have time to worry about the sun, because you've just realized the final, most personal, and most intimate horror of this new reality. You can't see your own back. You can't see your own heart, or your lungs, or the blood pumping through your veins. And you certainly can't see your own brain.
Act 3. The Observer's Paradox. This is the ultimate paradox. To exist, you must be observed. Your consciousness, your active looking, is what solidifies the world around you. You are the observer that collapses the wave function. But who observes the observer? Your brain, the very thing that is creating your consciousness, is unobserved. It is a constant, shimmering cloud of superposition. It is both functioning and not functioning at the same time. Your thoughts, your memories, your very sense of self are a statistical improbability, a ghost in a machine that might not even be there. And then you do the one thing you've been avoiding, the one final, terrifying act. You close your eyes. For a moment, there is peace, darkness, silence. But you have just committed cosmic suicide. By closing your eyes, you have ceased to be an observer. And without an observer, there is nothing to force the universe to choose. The room around you dissolves. The planet beneath you dissolves. Your own body, now completely unobserved, dissolves. Everything, everywhere, that isn't being looked at by someone, somewhere, instantly vanishes into the one, true, fundamental state of the universe. A boundless, silent, infinite ocean of pure, undefined potential. And you, your consciousness, simply fades away. A brief, statistical anomaly that has now returned to the mean. You don't die, because to die, you have to have existed in the first place. And existence, as it turns out, is all in your head. The problem is, you have to keep looking at it.